Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the most shocking, emotional, and unforgettable stories from 90 Day Fiancé. Tonight, we unravel a tale that feels less like reality TV and more like a dramatic novel, filled with love, betrayal, heartbreak, and unexpected twists. At the center of this storm are three names you know well: Gino Palazzolo, Jasmine Pineda, and Natalie. Recently, a dramatic new chapter has unfolded following the breakup of 90 Day Fiancé stars Gino Palazzolo and Jasmine Pineda. After parting ways, Gino seemed to embrace a fresh start with his girlfriend Natalie. The two spent intimate, luxurious moments together at several five-star hotels, a sign that Gino had stepped into a new phase of life. Then came the shocking revelation. Natalie announced, "I'm pregnant. I'm carrying Gino Palazzolo's child." Later, a hospital DNA test confirmed the news. Natalie is indeed expecting Gino's baby. With this joyful development, another major moment is approaching. On January 4th, 2026, Gino Palazzolo and Natalie are set to get married officially. But meanwhile, a dark storm has descended on Jasmine Pineda's life. Filled with hope, Jasmine asked her new boyfriend Matt to marry her, but her dreams shattered instantly when Matt told her clearly, "Jasmine, I can't marry you. I'm committed to my secret girlfriend, Anna. I will marry her this coming January." In a single moment, Jasmine's entire world collapsed. Gino is gone. Matt has rejected her. And now, she finds herself completely alone, facing an uncertain future. This isn't just another breakup story. It's a saga of transformation, of endings and beginnings, of shattered dreams and new hope. So grab your seat, because we're about to walk through 12 powerful chapters that will take you inside the heartbreak, the scandal, and the shocking future of these stars. Let's begin with Chapter 1, the breaking point. The cameras may have stopped rolling, but the tension between Gino and Jasmine never truly faded. Their love story, once filled with passion and promises, had slowly unraveled into arguments, mistrust, and painful silences. For months, fans watched as Jasmine accused Gino of betrayal, while Gino struggled to prove his loyalty. Their relationship became a battlefield, every conversation a war, every silence a wound. The final straw came one quiet evening. Jasmine, her voice trembling, asked the question she had been holding back. "Gino, do you even love me anymore?" Gino paused, his eyes heavy with exhaustion. He didn't shout, he didn't argue. He simply whispered, "Jasmine, I can't do this anymore." That single sentence shattered everything. Jasmine's tears flowed freely, her dreams of marriage and family collapsing in an instant. For her, Gino wasn't just a partner. He was the man she had fought for, the man she believed would stand beside her against the world. But for Gino, the weight of constant conflict had become unbearable. He longed for peace, for a fresh start, for a chance to breathe again. The breakup wasn't explosive. It was quiet, almost haunting. No dramatic fights, no screaming accusations, just two people realizing that love alone wasn't enough to heal the wounds they had inflicted on each other. As Jasmine packed her belongings, she looked back one last time. Her eyes carried both anger and sorrow, a mix of emotions that words could never capture. Gino stood still, unable to move, unable to speak. And just like that, their chapter closed. But endings often lead to beginnings. For Gino, this painful goodbye would open the door to Natalie, a woman who would change his life in ways he never imagined. For Jasmine, however, the goodbye marked the start of a downward spiral, one that would leave her more broken than ever before. The stage was set, the players were in motion, and the drama was only just beginning. When one door closes, another often opens, and for Gino Palazzolo, that door was Natalie. She didn't enter his life with fireworks or chaos. Instead, Natalie appeared quietly, almost like a whisper in the middle of Gino's storm. Where Jasmine had been fiery, unpredictable, and demanding, Natalie was calm, composed, and nurturing. She carried herself with a grace that immediately caught Gino's attention. Their first meeting was simple, a casual dinner arranged by mutual friends. But what began as polite conversation quickly transformed into something deeper. Natalie listened to Gino in a way Jasmine never had. She didn't interrupt, didn't accuse, didn't challenge every word. Instead, she leaned in, her eyes soft, her voice reassuring. For Gino, it felt like breathing fresh air after years of suffocation. Within weeks, their bond grew stronger. Natalie became his confidant, the person he could finally open up to without fear of judgment. She encouraged him to let go of the bitterness of his past and embrace the possibility of a brighter future. And then came the moments that made headlines. Gino and Natalie were spotted together at several five-star hotels. Their intimate escapes weren't just about luxury, they symbolized a new chapter. For the first time in years, Gino wasn't hiding behind arguments or defending himself against accusations. He was smiling, laughing, and living. The paparazzi photos told the story. Gino, dressed sharply, holding Natalie's hand as they walked through hotel lobbies. Natalie, radiant in elegant dresses, her presence exuding confidence and warmth. Together, they looked like a couple stepping into the spotlight, unafraid of the world's gaze. But behind the glamour, there was something more profound. Natalie wasn't chasing fame or attention. She was chasing love, and she believed she had found it in Gino. Friends close to Gino noticed the transformation. He seemed lighter, more hopeful, more willing to dream again. The man who had once been broken by Jasmine's fiery temper was now rebuilding himself with Natalie's gentle touch. Yet, as their romance blossomed, whispers began to circulate. Fans wondered, was Gino moving too fast? Could Natalie truly be the answer to his heartbreak? Or was this just another chapter destined to end in tears? For now, Gino didn't care about the speculation. He was living in the moment, embracing the joy he had long been denied. And Natalie? She was preparing to reveal something that would change everything. A revelation that would not only shock Gino, but also send ripples through the entire 90-day Fiance universe. For Gino Palazzolo, the end of his relationship with Jasmine had left scars. But with Natalie by his side, those scars began to fade, replaced by moments of indulgence and intimacy that felt like a rebirth. Their romance wasn't hidden in shadows. It was displayed in the glow of chandeliers, the comfort of silk sheets, and the quiet elegance of five-star hotels. Each stay was more than just a getaway. It was a declaration. Gino was no longer the man trapped in endless arguments. He was a man rediscovering joy, rediscovering himself. At the Ritz in Miami, they were seen sipping champagne by the rooftop pool, the city lights reflecting in Natalie's eyes. At the Waldorf in New York, they shared candlelit dinners, their laughter echoing through the grand dining hall. And in Las Vegas, they disappeared into private suites, where the world outside seemed to vanish. For Natalie, these escapes weren't about luxury, they were about intimacy. She wanted Gino to feel cherished, wanted him to know that love could be gentle, not destructive. She held his hand as they walked through marble lobbies, whispered encouragement when he doubted himself, and reminded him that happiness wasn't a dream, it was real, and it was theirs. Gino, once hesitant to show affection in public, now embraced it. He kissed Natalie openly, smiled for cameras, and carried himself with a confidence fans hadn't seen in years. The man who had been broken was now glowing, and the world noticed. But behind the glamour, whispers grew louder. Was Gino rushing into something too quickly? Was Natalie truly the answer to his heartbreak, or was she simply a distraction from the pain of Jasmine's rejection? The fans debated endlessly, but Gino didn't care. For him, these hotel escapes were more than vacations. They were symbols of freedom, proof that he had stepped into a new phase of life. Yet, as the champagne glasses clinked and the laughter filled the air, Natalie carried a secret that would soon transform their love story into something far bigger, far more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. Because while the world saw luxury and romance, Natalie knew the truth. She was carrying Gino's child. And when that revelation came, it would shake not only Gino's world, but the entire 90-day Fiance universe. Every love story has a moment that changes everything. For Gino and Natalie, That moment arrived not in a hotel suite or a candlelit dinner, but in the quiet of a private conversation, a confession that would alter the course of their lives forever. Natalie had been carrying a secret. For weeks, she had smiled through dinners, laughed at Gino's jokes, and held his hand as if nothing was different. But inside, she knew the truth. Her body was changing, her future was shifting, and her heart was racing with anticipation. One evening, as they sat together in a dimly lit lounge, Natalie finally spoke. Her voice trembled, but her words were clear. "Gino, I'm pregnant. I'm carrying your child." The silence that followed was deafening. Gino froze, his mind spinning. For a man who had just escaped the chaos of his past, this revelation felt like both a blessing and a storm. His eyes widened, his breath caught, and for a moment, he couldn't speak. Natalie reached for his hand, her grip firm, her gaze unwavering. She wasn't afraid of his reaction. She wasn't asking for approval. She was simply telling the truth. When Gino finally found his voice, it was shaky but sincere. "Are you sure?" Natalie nodded, and soon, the hospital confirmed it. A DNA test left no room for doubt. Natalie was indeed expecting Gino's baby. The news spread quickly. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé erupted with shock, disbelief, and excitement. Social media lit up with speculation. Was Gino ready to be a father? Would Natalie's pregnancy bring stability, or would it ignite new drama? For Gino, the emotions were overwhelming. He had dreamed of family before, but those dreams had been shattered with Jasmine. Now, with Natalie, the possibility was real again. He wasn't just starting over. He was building something new, something lasting. Natalie, meanwhile, embraced the joy of motherhood. She spoke openly about her hopes, her fears, and her determination to give their child a life filled with love. She wasn't chasing fame or headlines. She was chasing a future, a family, a home, a new beginning. Together, they stood at the edge of a new chapter. The luxury hotels, the glamorous escapes, those were symbols of romance. But this pregnancy was something deeper. It was life itself, a bond that no scandal or heartbreak could erase. And as January 4th, 2026 approached, the day they planned to marry, the world watched with anticipation. Gino and Natalie weren't just lovers anymore. They were parents-to-be, stepping into a future that promised both joy and challenge. But while their story soared, another was crumbling. Jasmine's world was about to collapse in ways she could never have imagined. Natalie's revelation had already shaken Gino's world, but the true weight of her words came when science stepped in. Love can be questioned, promises can be doubted, but DNA leaves no room for uncertainty. But with Natalie, it felt different. It felt possible. It felt real. The proposal was intimate, far from the cameras and chaos. Gino, nervous but determined, slipped a ring onto Natalie's finger during a quiet dinner. His words were simple, but they carried the weight of his journey. "Natalie, you've given me hope again. Will you marry me?" Natalie's answer was immediate, her voice trembling with joy. "Yes, Gino. Yes, I will." From that moment, their lives shifted into preparation mode. Wedding planners were contacted, venues were explored, and guest lists began to form. The couple envisioned a ceremony filled with elegance, not extravagance, but sincerity. They wanted their vows to reflect not just their love, but their resilience. Fans erupted with mixed emotions. Some celebrated the couple's courage to move forward so quickly, praising Gino for finally finding stability. Others criticized the timing, questioning whether marriage was too soon after Jasmine's heartbreak. But for Gino and Natalie, the opinions didn't matter. Their focus was on building a family, on creating a foundation strong enough to withstand the storms of public scrutiny. Natalie, glowing with pregnancy, embraced the role of bride-to-be with grace. She spoke openly about her excitement, her fears, and her determination to make the wedding a symbol of love rather than spectacle. Gino, meanwhile, carried himself with newfound confidence. He wasn't just a man escaping scandal, he was a man stepping into destiny. The date, January 4th, 2026, became a beacon. Every day leading up to it carried anticipation, every moment filled with preparation. For Gino, it wasn't just about vows. It was about redemption. It was about proving to himself, to Natalie, and to the world that he could love, commit, and build a future. But while Gino and Natalie's path seemed golden, Jasmine's was unraveling. As they planned their wedding, Jasmine was planning her own proposal, one that would end in devastation. The contrast was stark, one couple rising into joy, another sinking into despair, and as the calendar moved closer to January, the stage was set for heartbreak, scandal, and the next shocking twist. While Gino and Natalie's love story soared toward wedding bells, Jasmine Pineda's life was unraveling. The breakup with Gino had left her shattered, but Jasmine was determined not to remain broken. She believed that love could heal her wounds, and she placed all her hope in one man, Matt. Matt wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't a man chasing cameras or fame. He was quiet, steady, and seemed to offer the stability Jasmine craved. After the chaos of her relationship with Gino, Matt felt like a safe harbor, someone who could ground her, someone who could remind her that love didn't have to be war. For weeks, Jasmine poured her heart into the relationship. She spoke of dreams, of marriage, of building a family. She believed Matt was the answer to her prayers, the man who would finally give her the life she had always wanted. And then came the moment she had been waiting for. One evening, filled with nervous excitement, Jasmine looked into Matt's eyes and asked the question that carried all her hopes. "Matt, will you marry me?" Her voice trembled, but her heart was steady. She believed the answer would be yes. She believed her story was about to turn from heartbreak to redemption. But Matt's response was not what she expected. His face hardened, his voice firm, his words cutting like a blade. "Jasmine, I can't marry you. I'm committed to someone else. Her name is Anna. She's my girlfriend, and I will marry her this coming January." The silence that followed was unbearable. Jasmine's world collapsed in an instant. The man she had trusted, the man she had believed in, had not only rejected her but revealed a secret that destroyed her dreams. Her tears flowed freely, her body trembling as the reality sank in. Gino was gone. Matt had betrayed her, and Anna, a woman she had never even met, had stolen the future Jasmine thought was hers. For Jasmine, this wasn't just rejection, it was devastation. She had gambled her heart once more, and once more she had lost. The contrast was cruel. As Gino prepared for marriage and fatherhood, Jasmine was left alone, abandoned, and humiliated. The cameras weren't rolling, but the drama was real. Her pain wasn't scripted. It was raw, it was deep, and it was hers. For Jasmine Pineda, Matt had been her last hope. After losing Gino, she believed Matt could be the man to rebuild her shattered world. She had poured her heart into him, convinced that their bond was strong enough to carry her into a new future. But the truth was far darker than she imagined. When Jasmine proposed, she expected joy. She expected Matt to smile, to embrace her, to promise her the stability she craved. Instead, his words cut through her like a knife. "Jasmine, I can't marry you. I'm committed to someone else. Her name is Anna. She's my girlfriend, and I will marry her this coming January." The revelation was devastating. Jasmine's face fell, her body trembling as the weight of betrayal crushed her. She had given Matt her trust, her vulnerability, her dreams, only to discover that she had been living in the shadow of another woman. Matt's tone was firm, almost cold. He didn't soften the blow, didn't offer comfort. He spoke with certainty, as if Jasmine's love had never truly mattered. For him, Anna was the future. Jasmine was simply a chapter he was ready to close. The cruelty of the rejection wasn't just in the words, it was in the timing. Jasmine had already endured the collapse of her relationship with Gino. She had already faced humiliation and heartbreak. And now, just as she reached for hope, Matt revealed that her dreams were nothing more than illusions. Jasmine's tears flowed freely. She begged for an explanation, for a reason why he had led her on, why he had allowed her to believe in a future that never existed. But Matt offered no comfort. His loyalty was to Anna, and his decision was final. For Jasmine, the pain was unbearable. She wasn't just rejected, she was erased. Her proposal, her love, her vulnerability had been dismissed in a single moment. The contrast was cruelly poetic. As Gino prepared for fatherhood and marriage, Jasmine was left alone, abandoned, and humiliated. The cameras weren't rolling, but the drama was real. Her heartbreak wasn't scripted. It was raw, it was deep, and it was hers. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé watched in shock as the news spread. Some sympathized with Jasmine, calling Matt's rejection heartless. Others argued that Jasmine had moved too quickly, that her desperation had blinded her to the truth. But no matter the opinions, one fact remained. Jasmine was alone, facing a future she never imagined. And as January approached, the cruel irony grew sharper. While Gino and Natalie prepared to say, "I do," Matt and Anna were preparing for their own vows, leaving Jasmine in the shadows of two weddings that would never include her. Her world had collapsed, and the storm was only beginning. For Jasmine, Matt's rejection had been cruel enough. But the name he spoke, Anna, became the ghost haunting her every thought. Who was this woman? Why had Matt chosen her over Jasmine? And how could she have stolen the future Jasmine believed was hers? The truth soon emerged. Anna wasn't a stranger in Matt's life. She had been there quietly, in the background, long before Jasmine entered the picture. Unlike Jasmine, Anna wasn't fiery or dramatic. She was calm, steady, and deeply loyal. Where Jasmine demanded attention, Anna offered quiet devotion. Where Jasmine fought for control, Anna gave Matt peace. Friends close to Matt revealed that his relationship with Anna had always been serious. He hadn't flaunted it publicly, but behind closed doors, Anna was the woman he trusted, the woman he envisioned as his wife. Jasmine, in his eyes, had been a distraction, a spark that burned brightly but faded quickly. Anna herself wasn't seeking fame. She wasn't chasing headlines or trying to step into the spotlight of 90 Day Fiancé. She was simply in love with Matt, and Matt was in love with her. Their bond was built not on drama, but on quiet consistency. When Jasmine proposed, Matt's rejection wasn't just about loyalty, it was about clarity. He had already chosen Anna long before Jasmine asked the question. His future was set, his commitment unshakable, and in January, he would marry Anna, leaving Jasmine to face the cruel reality that she had never truly been part of his plans. For Jasmine, the revelation was unbearable. Anna wasn't just another woman. She was the embodiment of everything Jasmine had lost: stability, loyalty, and a future. Jasmine's fiery spirit, once her strength, now felt like her downfall. She had fought too hard too fast, and in the end, she had lost to someone who didn't need to fight at all. The contrast was devastating. Gino had moved on with Natalie, embracing fatherhood and marriage. Matt had chosen Anna, preparing for vows of his own. And Jasmine, she was left alone, rejected by two men, overshadowed by two women, her dreams collapsing into silence. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé reacted with shock. Some sympathized with Jasmine, calling her a victim of betrayal. Others argued that Anna's quiet strength had simply won Matt's heart. But no matter the opinions, one fact remained. Jasmine was alone, facing a future filled with uncertainty. The rejection from Matt was more than heartbreak. It was devastation. For Jasmine Pineda, the world seemed to collapse in a single moment. Gino was gone. Matt had chosen Anna, and now she stood alone, stripped of love, stripped of hope, stripped of the future she had dreamed of. Her apartment became a prison of silence. The walls echoed with memories of laughter, arguments, and promises that had all turned to dust. Jasmine, once fiery and full of life, now sat in the shadows, her eyes swollen from tears, her voice trembling with despair. She replayed the moments endlessly in her mind. Gino's quiet goodbye, Matt's cruel rejection, Anna's name haunting her like a ghost. Each memory was a dagger, cutting deeper into her already broken heart. Friends tried to console her, but Jasmine pushed them away. She wasn't ready to hear words of comfort. She wasn't ready to pretend that everything would be fine. For her, nothing was fine. The world had betrayed her, love had abandoned her, and she was left with nothing but emptiness. Social media only made the pain worse. Photos of Gino and Natalie preparing for their wedding flooded her feed. Smiling faces, glowing announcements, fans celebrating their new chapter. And then, whispers of Matt and Anna's upcoming vows, another reminder that Jasmine had been erased from the story. Her fiery spirit, once her greatest strength, now felt like her downfall. She had fought too hard, loved too fiercely, and in the end, lost everything. The woman who once commanded attention was now invisible, her voice drowned out by the celebrations of others. Yet, even in her darkest moments, Jasmine's resilience flickered faintly. She wasn't ready to give up completely. She spoke quietly to herself, whispering promises that one day she would rise again. One day she would reclaim her place. But for now, she was broken, and the world needed to see her pain. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé watched with mixed emotions. Some sympathized deeply, calling Jasmine a victim of betrayal. Others criticized her choices, arguing that her desperation had led her into heartbreak. But no matter the opinions, one fact remained. Jasmine was alone, facing a future filled with uncertainty. Her story wasn't over, but this chapter was her lowest point. A woman once filled with fire now sat in ashes, waiting for a spark to reignite her spirit. And as January approached, the cruel irony grew sharper. 2 weddings loomed, Gino with Natalie, Matt with Anna, while Jasmine stood outside, watching the world move on without her. The drama unfolding between Gino, Natalie, Jasmine, Matt, and Anna wasn't confined to private conversations anymore. It had spilled into the public arena, igniting a firestorm across social media, fan forums, and entertainment headlines. For fans of 90 Day Fiancé, this wasn't just another storyline. It was a scandal, raw, messy, and impossible to ignore. The moment Natalie's pregnancy was confirmed, the internet erupted. Supporters flooded her posts with congratulations, praising her for bringing stability into Gino's chaotic life. Finally, Gino found peace, one fan wrote. Others, however, were skeptical, questioning whether Natalie's calm demeanor could withstand the pressures of fame and parenthood. Then came the wedding announcement. January 4th, 2026 became a date etched into the minds of viewers. Memes, countdowns, and speculation filled timelines. Some fans celebrated the couple's courage to move forward so quickly, while others accused Gino of rushing into marriage without truly healing from Jasmine. But the real explosion came when Jasmine's rejection by Matt surfaced. Clips of her tearful proposal and Matt's cold response spread like wildfire. Fans were divided. Some sympathized deeply, calling Jasmine a victim of betrayal. She gave her heart twice and was crushed both times. One viewer lamented. Others criticized her choices, arguing that her desperation had blinded her to reality. Jasmine moves too fast. She doesn't learn, another fan posted bluntly. And then, the name Anna entered the conversation. Who was she? Why had Matt chosen her? Fans dug into her background, speculating endlessly about her role in the drama. Some admired her quiet strength, while others accused her of stealing Jasmine's future. The scandal became more than just entertainment. It became a debate about love, loyalty, and resilience. Was Gino finally redeemed? Was Natalie truly the woman who could save him? Was Jasmine a tragic heroine or the architect of her own downfall? Entertainment outlets seized the story, publishing headlines that screamed betrayal, pregnancy, and wedding bells. Talk shows dissected every detail, while fan podcasts debated the morality of each decision. The drama wasn't just on screen anymore. It was everywhere. For Jasmine, the public reaction was salt in her wounds. Every headline reminded her of her rejection. Every meme mocked her pain. She wasn't just heartbroken. She was humiliated in front of millions. For Gino and Natalie, the scandal was both a blessing and a curse. Their love was celebrated, but their every move was scrutinized. The wedding became not just a personal milestone, but a public spectacle. And as January approached, the tension grew unbearable. 2 weddings loomed, 2 futures were being built, and one woman was left in ruins. The calendar moved closer to January 4th, 2026, a date that promised joy for some and heartbreak for others. For Gino Palazzolo and Natalie, it was the day they would stand before family, friends, and the world to declare their love. For Jasmine Pineda, it was the day she would watch 2 weddings unfold without her, a cruel reminder of everything she had lost. Gino's future seemed brighter than ever. With Natalie by his side and a child on the way, he carried himself with newfound confidence. The man once broken by scandal and mistrust now stood tall, ready to embrace fatherhood and marriage. His journey had been painful, but it had led him to a place of redemption, a chance to prove that love could heal, that commitment could endure. Natalie, glowing with pregnancy, prepared for her role as both bride and mother. She wasn't chasing fame or headlines. She was chasing stability, a family, and a life built on sincerity. For her, the wedding wasn't just about vows. It was about building a foundation strong enough to withstand the storms of public scrutiny. But Jasmine's future was far less certain. Alone, rejected, and humiliated, she faced the cruel reality of watching her former lover marry another woman and her new boyfriend commit to someone else. Her fiery spirit had carried her through battles before, but now it flickered weakly, struggling to survive the weight of betrayal. Fans debated endlessly about what lay ahead. Would Jasmine rise from the ashes, reclaim her strength, and find love again? Or would she spiral deeper into despair, her story becoming a cautionary tale of heartbreak and desperation? The contrast was stark. Gino and Natalie stood at the edge of joy, preparing to welcome both marriage and a child. Jasmine stood at the edge of loneliness, her dreams shattered, her future uncertain. Yet, in the world of 90-Day Fiancé, nothing is ever final. Love stories twist, betrayals resurface, and futures change in the blink of an eye. As January approached, one truth remained clear: the drama was far from over. The saga of Gino, Natalie, and Jasmine wasn't just about endings. It was about beginnings, about resilience, and about the unpredictable nature of love. Their futures were uncertain, but their stories were unforgettable. And so, we arrive at the end of this chapter in the 90-Day Fiancé saga. But as one story closes, countless questions remain. Will Gino truly find redemption in fatherhood and marriage, or will old wounds resurface? Can Natalie withstand the pressures of fame, motherhood, and public scrutiny while keeping her love strong? Will Jasmine rise from the ashes of heartbreak, or will she remain trapped in the shadows of rejection? And what role will Anna play in the future? Will her quiet strength continue to overshadow Jasmine's fiery spirit? The answers are not yet written. The stage is set, the players are in motion, and the drama continues to unfold. In the world of 90-Day Fiancé, love is never simple, betrayal is never forgotten, and the future is always uncertain. So tell me, whose story do you believe will triumph? Whose love will endure? And whose heartbreak will define the next chapter? The saga isn't over. It's only just beginning. On another day, in the next part, we will tell you the rest of this incident. More update. 90-Day Fiancé, Natalie's lies exposed. Spotted filming for The Single Life with Gino? Will Jasmine Pineda make a comeback on the show? She breaks silence on her reality TV future. 90-Day Fiancé, insider reveals Gino paid Natalie, with TLC's fact check, to fake their romance. When does Gino's relationship with Natalie stand? Are they still going strong? I will explain everything. Regarding Gino's ex-girlfriend, Natalie, 90-Day Fiancé star Jasmine Pineda seems to be correct. Fans are shocked to learn that the latter's lies have now been made public online. Rumor has it that she was spotted filming The Single Life with Gino's upcoming season. At last, fans realized why she pursued Jasmine instead of criticizing him at the tell-all. Gino revealed his new partner, Natalie, on Happily Ever After. He did not, however, confront Jasmine on her behalf or be truthful with her. Fans were confused when Natalie returned to the tell-all. Instead of criticizing her ex for lying, she pursued Jasmine. Along with rejecting the paid actress charges, the reality TV personality accused the woman of lying. Did Jasmine have a point about her? Is Natalie a paid performer? Following Tell-All's first segment, J90 Day Fiance star Jasmine Pineda revealed some startling facts about Natalie. As a professional actor, she received thousands of dollars to appear on HEA and the next season of Single Life, according to her. According to the reality TV personality, her co-star was paid to incite the controversy. She also refrained from properly questioning Gino. All of the allegations that Natalie was a paid actor were later refuted. "This is an outright lie," she exclaimed. Jasmine was advised by the reality TV personality to cease circulating false information about her. Natalie chose not to respond to the rumors that she will be filming another season with Gino, nevertheless. Finally, she seems to have been revealed. When fans learn the TLC star's true face, they are shocked. What was she doing? The 90 Day Fiancé star, Natalie, made a concerted effort to conceal her reality. At first, many were perplexed by how much she resembled Jasmine on HEA. They questioned if it was a setup or if Gino actually met her on a dating site. When Jasmine referred to Natalie as a paid actor, she validated the rumors. The latter will also feature on the Single Life with Gino, she informed her audience. The native of Panama believed that Natalie didn't really attack Gino because they were working together on the upcoming show. 90 Day Fiance _Alexa, a blogger, recently published some credible information that revealed her truth. The blogger shared pictures of Gino and Natalie together while they were filming The Single Life. Because she planned to film The Single Life with Gino immediately after, she claimed, Natalie didn't come for Gino at the tell-all. Therefore, it's possible that Natalie attacked Jasmine solely because it was part of her job. In the comments section, fans weren't really surprised and thought Natalie was just looking for screen time. She is not into Gino, according to one fan. It was difficult to witness their funny relationship. According to another user, Gino couldn't date Natalie organically. As they saw that she never once asked Gino for anything he'd done to her, many 90 Day Fiancé fans expressed their shock. They thought Jasmine might be correct to refer to her as a hired actor. "My God," another person remarked. "No one wants to see Gino again." What do you think about this? Comment below to share your thoughts. Will Jasmine Pineda make a comeback on the show? She breaks silence on her reality TV future. Has Jasmine Pineda's 90 Day Fiancé saga come to an end? Everyone watching has been wondering what she's up to next, and this is the question they've all been asking. So, the famous person finally spoke out about her role in the show's future. Pineda considered her options, and her adoring public is starting to get antsy. Yet, there's more. Jasmine went into additional detail about her projects outside of the reality TV show, and she certainly has a lot going on. Is that so? Tell me what she unveiled. Pineda, what has she been doing recently? Read on to find out what Jasmine has planned for the future. As Gino Palazzolo and Jasmine Pineda continued to battle for Pineda's American visa, Pineda became a member of 90 Day Fiancé. The day Pineda touched down in the United States, the pair began making wedding preparations and eventually walked down the aisle. However, fans didn't exactly anticipate that to be the beginning of a happily ever after. They decided to attempt to have a baby even though Jasmine and Gino were still having problems with intimacy. A future pregnancy, not with this child, though, was something Palazzolo was blissfully unaware of. Things quickly turned around when Jasmine announced her love with Matt Brainis and debuted with a baby bump. That explains it all. Gino and Jasmine are fighting for a divorce. It would appear that Jasmine Pineda has no plans to leave reality television anytime soon, given how far she has gone in the industry. In a recent interview, she came clean about her forever involvement with 90 Day Fiancé, calling the brand her family. Indeed, Pineda considers all this mayhem and strife to be her extended family. As a result, the famous person made it known that she was open book and that her tale was far from finished. However, please be patient since Jasmine has much more to say. "This is a new chapter in my life, and if given the opportunity to be on the show again, I will be willing to," Jasmine recently told Swoon. The show was the easiest thing on earth, she mused further. Thus she loved it very. It must be simple to yell your head off and collect a hefty check from the franchise. Jasmine went on to say to the renowned source, "It's just being myself. Because I don't put any effort into controlling my expression, I'm able to get away with it." Nonetheless, Jasmine clearly isn't putting all her eggs in the show's basket. These days, she is occupied with other things. The famous person opened up about her juggling act as a new mom life with creating a cookbook and other projects. Jasmine is currently seeking a compromise between her past self and her present self. She went on to say, "That's pretty much what I'm experiencing at the moment." This proves without a doubt that Jasmine would seize the opportunity to return to the show should the franchise so choose. Do you still intend to observe her? Leave a comment and tell us. 90 Day Fiance. Insider reveals Gino paid Natalie with TLC's fat check to fake their romance. It appears that the person who appeared to be the love of 90 Day Fiance star Gino Palazzolo's life was only a paid actor. Recently, Jasmine Pineda revealed her husband's latest actions and charged him with pretending to be romantic. Being unable to contain her emotions, she further asserted that Gino gave Natalie a fat check in exchange for dating him on the show. However, it is not all. Fans are still reeling over the myriad of charges that Jasmine and Natalie have been accused of. Do you think this is true? Why is this happening? Regarding Gino and Natalie's relationship, what did Pineda disclose? Read on to discover some startling facts regarding this dispute. The idea of an open marriage was initially met with resistance by Gino Palazzolo, star of 90 Day Fiancé. He is now accepting his side of the story though, and he has started dating Natalie. After finding her on social media, the celebrity traveled to Las Vegas specifically to see her. Natalie reportedly told the cameras that she had been divorced twice, each time choosing nasty boys as her partner. For this reason, Natalie felt comfortable dating Gino after learning that he was less macho and more scholarly. Natalie's appearance also gave the impression that the latter was completely smitten with her. He confessed that he felt completely at ease with her while swooning over her skin and hair. Was this all a hoax though? In 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Gino's romance with Natalie and Jasmine's life with Matt are highlighted. Although their marriage is open, it is obvious that they have broken up. In the first episode, viewers witnessed Pineda's utter ignorance of the dynamics as Palazzolo headed to Las Vegas to meet his new partner. According to Jasmine, the only reason her marriage had ended was due of her physical desires, and she still loved Gino, which is why she wanted to get back together. One fan questioned whether Jasmine had kicked Natalie during her Instagram queue and a session following this show. "I hope that check was worthy," she said in a prompt response. Jasmine's remark was unambiguous, and viewers quickly deduced its meaning. Clearly, she was accusing Gino and Natalie of pretending to be happy. TLC actually paid Natalie to date her husband for the show, and the celebrity wanted to let everyone know about it. She had already discussed it before. Jasmine had asserted earlier that Gino and Natalie were only acting out their parts for the sake of the show and that their love was fake. Many viewers felt that Natalie and Gino weren't a real pair, despite Pineda lying about a lot of things on the show. What do you think? Tell us in the comments area, please. Where does Gino's relationship with Natalie stand? Are they still going strong? Gino Palazzolo did not succeed in dating a new woman on HEA. Natalie, his new girlfriend, was introduced. That joy, though, was fleeting for the 90 Day Fiancé star. After learning of her husband's new relationship, Jasmine screamed vicious insults at Natalie during Dana's party and caused chaos. After his wife and he got into a violent argument, Gino's new girlfriend left him, leaving him single once more. Natalie didn't want to be caught up in the couple's drama. Gino expressed on the show that he felt lonely and wished to make amends with Jasmine. However, he was ultimately devastated by his wife's pregnancy with her open marriage partner. Now, fans are curious as to whether the reality TV star made amends with Natalie when his wife started dating Matt. Are they still operating as is? What is their present situation? Natalie received an invitation from Gino Palazzolo to visit Michigan and enjoy some fun. He was aware that having Jasmine at Dana's celebration would cause chaos. Nevertheless, The star of 90 Day Fiancé brought his partner along to the celebration and simply observed. After failing to shield Natalie from Jasmine's rage, Gino instructed her to ignore everything. Natalie was taken aback, though, to learn that Gino was still involved in the issue. The following day, she vented her rage and packed her suitcase. The reality TV personality said, "I'm feeling exhausted, disappointed, angry, very angry after last night." Gino hoped to change matters by trying to be the mediator. Natalie accused her lover of being dishonest with her. "If only you had the courage to tell me the truth," she said. She broke up with her partner and left their lives. In the open marriage, Gino Palazzolo desired to live his side on he. He looked so thrilled to begin a new love life as he introduced Natalie on the television. But when his wife was initially introduced to the TLC star's girlfriend, things took a turn for the worst. In front of his family, Jasmine used no opportunity to make fun of and humiliate Natalie, and he even started acting aggressively. Gino kept the truth about his marriage from his girlfriend. He informed her that his wife and he were divorcing. But at the celebration, Natalie came to the realization that Jasmine and Gino's anarchy might never be resolved. She wasn't prepared to engage in the drama and lead a difficult life. The 90 Day Fiancé actress and her lover broke up. As a result, fans are interested in learning if Gino and Natalie can make amends. The latter seems to be in contact with him, and they get along well. The celebrities from reality TV continue to follow one another on social media. Unexpectedly, they don't tag one another or post any updates together. Natalie doesn't share anything on social media and keeps her profile private. Gino shared a single picture of them together at the start of the performance. He hasn't said anything about their dynamics since then. Viewers speculate that the TLC star may be holding off on revealing details about his romantic life until the show concludes. It is said that Gino dated several women following Natalie. His admirers want to know if he is still unmarried. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.